Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of VAFA Tragics. Great to have your company for another week after a week off where the VAFA did a number on a couple of teams from the country. Nick Armistead.
Hey Lenny, we did do a number. We had a good weekend of rep footy last weekend with the under 19s.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yes, correct.
Yep.
So the 19s got it done pretty comfortably over AFL Vic Country for the second year in a row, and the women, Leash will come on and expand more on it, but there's not much more that needs to be said. 151 to nothing. So
yeah, disappointing from the Goldfields. After I saw them play a couple of years ago, great first up win for new coach as well, who we had on the show. So
yeah, Tommy Stafford.
Tommy Stafford getting the wins on the board.
Yeah, he was a little bit nervous the night before the game too, I'm told. He thought the Goldfields...
What grounds?
Yeah, I've got absolutely no idea. They had a few VFL listed players, but our girls were absolutely sensational.
The rep sides that the VAFA puts together are some of the best footy sides you'd like to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Considering they only get together for 4 weeks in the lead up as well, it's a pretty amazing situation. Well done to both teams. Highlights from the last week?
Well, I'm going back to someone. You might remember a couple of weeks ago, I showed some footage about James Sanson from Old Scotch. He was pushed in the back once the ball went over the line, and he decided to get back his old Geelong opponent by throwing the ball in the back of his head. Well, he's at it again. On the weekend, it happened against Parkdale Vultures. Blake O'Leary gave James a little bit of a shove as the ball trickled over the line, and James just picked it up and threw it straight back at him. So that's twice he's done it now, and not once has he been pinned for a free kick, so he's absolutely nailing it.
I'm not sure he's nailing this shot. I'm not sure we're condoning this sort of behaviour.
No, I don't mind it, but you know why? Because free kicks rarely get paid when you get a little bit of a shove and it's gone. And so many players do it. So
that's when they're frustrating, when they do get paid. I don't want to see those little free kicks paid.
Yeah, I agree.
Unless it's injury to the player, like shoved into a fence.
Yep.
Definitely pay that.
I'm okay with that. But if you're the player, you got that little bit of a shove. You know he's just got one over you, and so you can get...
Where do you stand on pinching, by the way?
Pinching, I'm not against it.
You're not against pinching?
I'm not against it, no. Like, in terms of what happened with Strats and the bruising and stuff, that looked pretty poor.
It's not a good look.
It's not a good look.
So,
no.
I'm a defender from way back, and I reckon I probably might have pinched a couple of times back in the day. And in hindsight, looking at it with what Stratton did on the weekend, and we're filming before the tribunal sits, so we don't know what the result's going to be. I just think it's not a great look if young kids are thinking that that's something you can go and do.
Yeah. Yeah, and look, I agree with that from that point of view, but as a defender wanting to get one up on your opponent, and you know that they're rarely going to get cited for it, but it's going to be the retaliation that's going to get seen.
I take the stomping on the foot is not a good thing for you?
No.
I don't think we're going to allow
that.
No.
Okay, I do have a line somewhere.
Okay, right, I just want to check where the line was. I'm going all the way back to, I think it might have been 6 or 7 years ago, where we unearthed on VAFA, the original VAFA TV, a Whitefriars footballer by the name of Dom Chambers, who is a magician, and he's subsequently gone on to bigger and better things. Take a look at the original footage, and then followed up by his audition on America's Got Talent.
I'm going to do a quick coin trick for you.
Okay.
So we've got a 20-cent coin here, and I'm making it disappear. It's a classic trick. So if you watch it very carefully, I can make it completely... I can actually make it come back right there.
That's amazing.
Thank you. 1 empty paper bag. 1 dramatic magic gesture. 1 beer coaster. No, that's not it. This is the appearing glass of beer trick. In case of an emergency, always bring a spare coaster. But where there's a coaster, there's a beer. Not there. All right, now we're warming up. Nothing in the sleeves except for the coaster. But other than that, absolutely nothing to hide. No hidden glasses, no hidden beers, except for that one.
Well, there you go.
That is amazing.
That's a find from VAFA TV. That's the sort of stuff that we can
you.
do for you as a footballer out there in the VAFA, male or female. If you think you've got a bit of something about you, you can be all the way on America's
That's
Got Talent.
incredible.
It was a great audition.
Yeah.
We couldn't show the full audition there, but take a look at the full audition of Dom Chambers on America's Got Talent. Rightio, William Buck Premier was back on the weekend. The match of the round was Collegians beating Uni Blues at the Uni Oval.
Yeah, incredible performance from Collegians. Their best of the season, so they're now notched up 4th spot for now. They welcome back Lockie Ferguson. They kicked 5 goals to 3 in the opening term, and more importantly, outscored the Blues with 10 goals to 6 in that second half. Ben Daru was outstanding on ace court. He obviously gave away a lot of height, but was very good around the ground, while Ollie Jackson, who played big V19s in just his second game, kicked 5 goals and was best on.
I might save my question for you for the big questions at the end around where the relegation sides are going to come from in William Buck Premier.
Yep.
But I have a feeling it might be Bulleen Road, particularly considering De La Salle beat Old Trinity on their turf.
Yeah, great stuff from De La Salle. They're second in a row, so they beat St Kevin's. Surprised us, I think, a few weeks ago. They've kicked 5 goals to 2 in a match-winning second term. Huey Nicholson was outstanding, but take a look at this. Adrian Indovino decided he wanted to put in his goal of the year contender in the second term by soccering off the ground here from the pocket. Outstanding from Indo. The win gives D-La now a game and a half breathing space to Old Trinity, who are in 9th.
Yep. The other side, of course, in that equation for relegation is Old Carey, and they couldn't get the points at a game at Elsternwick Park against Old Brighton.
Yeah, so Brighton moved their game to Elsternwick Park. They had a ladies' luncheon, which was very successful. I hear they had about 130 women there, so absolutely outstanding in the Elsternwick Park social rooms. But 6 unanswered goals in the first quarter for Brighton. They welcome back Zimmer. He played this weekend, which was great for them. And they're still around that mark and will push for the 4th.
Scob certainly aren't the side we've seen in recent seasons, but they're just doing enough, and they'll probably most likely play finals.
Yeah, I think they'll certainly play finals, and we know what they can do once they get to finals. It's just all about managing their play, their personnel, and getting there and getting enough wins on the board. But they bounced back from their loss to D-La with 8 goals to 5 in the first half, and against Old Melburnians, which is always a really good game between those two sides.
It is, you're right. Ever since they came up together from Premier B.
Yep, absolutely. Especially at TH King, they always seem to be tight, but they maintained 3rd spot, while OMs, now they were 4th last week, and we were sort of questioning, we're probably going to give them a lot more kudos if they could beat someone like a Scob, a finals contender, because all their wins have come against teams below them, so unfortunately they couldn't get it done, but yet they're still in 5th.
The Burnies are probably about where we thought they'd be after going down to Old Zavs.
6 goals to 0 in the opening half basically paved the way for them there.
In Premier B, Bo Morris had a really important win over Uni Blacks down at Banksia Reserve, but you wanted to show a particular highlight here, Nick.
Yeah, so Callum Heath and Scott Gower were really good, but it was Matt Petering's goal here in the first term that really got the crowd up and about. He's just put it from the pocket, so that's 2 from the weekend. Absolutely phenomenal.
Great to see Matt still running around playing some great footy at Bo Morris as well. Old Haileybury Fitzroy. The Roys have been okay without being great, and they just probably need a few more wins to really solidify their place in Premier B. Old Geelong, in one of their games returning back to the city of Geelong, played at Geelong College against Caulfield Grammarians, but Caulfield Grammarians too good.
I bet Old Geelong were fantastic for 3 quarters. Unfortunately for them, it was 8 goals to 1 in the final term that got it done for Caulfield Grammarians, and Julian DeBoz, who we've mentioned a few times, he kicked 7 goals and made it 24 from his 4 games.
Wins also to St Bede's Mentone Tigers and Old Scotch. In Premier C, it was Mazenod defeating Old Ivanhoe. Still struggling to get a read on where Old Ivanhoe sit in Premier C at the moment.
Yeah, so again, over the last few years, they've probably been a little bit inconsistent, which seems to be the case again this year. A couple of weeks ago, they had a really good win, but Mazenod, they seem to be coming. They beat Old Mentonians 2 weeks ago, who were top 4 side, and Old Ivanhoe, who we know are really good. But they kicked 4 goals to 1 in that second term and held them off thereafter.
Big win for Marsland over Ormond, and Ormond is certainly one of those sides that to look out for. So it's a good win for Marsland, and I also like the win of Ajax over Pegs as well in Premier C.
Yeah, big win for Ajax. Unfortunately for Pegs, they're missing quite a few players, but Ajax probably needed that. They've struggled a little bit since coming down from Premier B, so that'll do wonders for them.
Our special guest today is Alistair Fady from Collegians. He's going to join us after this, and we've also got Alicia Min to talk women's footy. Back with more in a moment.
Anytime is the right time to get fit at Anytime Fitness. Access over 400 gyms across the country 24/7 and discover why more Australians train at Anytime Fitness than any other gym. Go online and register now for your free 7-day pass and feel something better.
Welcome back to the Tragics, our very special guest from Collegians Footy Club, Al Fahie. How are you?
Very well.
Good to have you.
Boys.
Right.
Oh,
Very good.
Thanks for having me.
that's a bit
I
awkward.
couldn't work out if I was going to be left-handed or right-handed there.
Always go left.
Yeah, fair enough. Good win on the
start.
weekend.
Yeah, ripper win. The boys seem like they're finally starting to wax.
So when you turn up to a ground like University, you probably played a number of years in William Buck Premier section. There's been years where it's been really muddy. It's been wet underfoot. It's a hard ground to win at. Uni Blues are flying. What are your thoughts? Take us to pre-game where the address of the coach. What is the whole team feeling about winning on a day like that?
Well, first I'll say the pre-game's a lot more comfortable now than it was when I first started. My second game, we went there and I don't think there was a blade of grass on the oval. And by the end, Wayne Dyer's son, had golden staph and had hypothermia from the ground. So times have changed in the last 5 years, and I actually love playing at uni, no matter how uni you're going, just because the rooms are amazing, the ground's amazing. And like you would have seen, even with the level of water that was on the ground, it was still pristine. So yeah, they're always a formidable force, Uni Blues. It's always going to be a hard game, but yeah, thoroughly enjoyed the win.
There is an incredible stat that Joey Pignataro said on the weekend that Collegians have won now 12 of the past 17 between the two sides, including, and I think Blues have only won one of their past 5 against you at Uni Oval. So you've got a great record.
Yeah, I think the whole playing group lifts when you got, and this is, Uni Blues might change the rooms now, but when you go into rooms and it's AFL standard, it just builds the whole vibe of the game. And I remember we were fighting relegation a few years ago, and my current housemate who doesn't play anymore, Billy Riddle, he kicked a sealer from the boundary that kept us in A grade. So there's been a few good wins there.
Something about playing footy on a ground with a picket fence as well. Do you find that?
Yeah, Viv Mitch, he describes it perfectly. He said it's a majestic white picket fence, and I couldn't agree more. He's a majestic footballer, so
He is, isn't he?
yeah.
And compare that to playing at a ground like Old Trinity where you can't see the boundary on the outer side. What's that like? Does the fence help you, knowing how the width of the ground?
Yeah, there's pros and cons to both. I mean, the pros, obviously, to the majestic picket fences, it looks nice. The cons are that if you slide into it like I did, you hurt your arm or hurt your shin. And then with the Trinity Oval, the pros are it's a big playing surface, but the cons are definitely if you're low fitness based like myself, you feel like you're running on a treadmill and you can get very lost out there.
So you said you're building, slow start to the year. What do we put that down to? Nick's made a lot of excuses for all the players missing.
And it will sound like excuses. I think part of the reason is probably players missing. It'd be silly not to say that the 2 grand final losses didn't hurt us as well. So I think probably after the first one, we kind of galvanised and had a really good pre-season. It reflected in our first few games last year, whereas this time it was a little bit more difficult, and I know a few blokes have dropped off. But yeah, I think as soon as we started, I can't remember who we won against first, but as soon as we got that first win and then the next one, we really kind of galvanised as a group, and I can see it's going well at the end of the year.
You mentioned the 2 grand final losses, and we were talking off air about your last premiership win in the longest quarter ever. It was an under-19s to pitch a win. I think after the siren, was it?
After the siren, Nick Blackney. I'm not sure what he's up to these days, but
Is it Willie,
he'll always be he's at Williamstown VFL, is he?
Nah, Williamstown CY is in VAFA.
Better competition anyway.
Much better.
He'll always have a strong place in all of our hearts because he got us that flag. And yeah, that was a Division 3 under-19s flag, but it still counts.
Do you have catch-ups with under-19s? I don't know how that works. I played in a couple of losing grand finals at under-19s.
It was probably reflective of the standard footy we were playing, but luckily it was a lot of just our mates. Some hadn't played that much footy at all, so in a way it was almost more special than kind of the level I'm playing at now, because yeah, it was just a whole lot of blokes who were just having a kick for fun, and we managed to win that flag in a 38-minute quarter.
Fair enough. Another flag you played in was at under-15 level?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
You've done your research. Yeah, that was an amazing grand final, actually. I would say it would have to be one of the best non-representative fields out there. We played a team against Ashburton. They had Toby Green, Jack Viney, Tom Mitchell, Rupert Wills, Tom Curran, and we had Dylan Buckley, Michael Maskoulos, and Hal Hunter.
And yourself?
Yeah, I was deputy vice assistant captain at that stage in the back pocket. So
under 15's deputy vice.
I think if 5 people went down, I would have put myself into the coin toss, but yeah, unfortunately it never happened. I was kneecapping blokes at training, but no, it was honestly a great time, and tasted my first beer after it, which was great.
Under 15s?
Yeah, under 15s.
What was it?
It was probably a warm Carlton draft, I reckon. Yeah, haven't looked back.
There's a couple of media extras that we need to ask you about. There's Inside 50 at Collegians, which we're enjoying.
Yeah, I'll just let you know that Sam Hibbins is the puppeteer behind all of this as well.
Unsurprising.
I'm just a pawn in the game.
He's a tragic himself. He
is tragic, yeah.
Yep.
In a lot of ways.
But you've made yourself famous on commercial TV as well.
I'm scared of where this is heading, but yeah, there's been a couple of times I've been in front of the camera. This would be probably my greatest achievement in front of the camera, though, coming on the Tragics.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. But first dates, tell us about that experience.
Yeah, it was honestly just a big joke, but you learn a lot about yourself when you get rejected on national television. And I learned that dating scene isn't for me, and I made sure the next date I went on was going to be the last. So.
Now, I remember watching this. This was 2 years ago. I remember watching this, and you've dished out on the promo, quick little early, I love you.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about that? Like, it was a great date, and I was surprised the young woman.
I don't want to ruin people's TV experience, but reality TV, they do have the knack of putting one sentence together with another.
What?
And,
What?
Yeah,
No.
you could even do it right. I love you. So I never actually did say I love. I said something like she took my breath away, and then that got taken into, do you love her? And I said, no, I don't love her, and that got turned into the first time I saw her, I loved her.
What a stitch up.
It was a bit of a stitch up.
So you didn't get a second date. You said yes, though, didn't you?
I said yes. She said a firm no, which I initially, this wasn't shown in the tape, but I initially thought she was saying yes and prematurely celebrated. Luckily, that was my biggest fear, was that was going to make the cut. But yeah, I think they took pity on me. And
Was it because you didn't have deep, or you had deep pockets? And
well, yeah, Daily Mail had a field day, said that I'm just big on gender equality, Andrew.
Fair enough.
I mean, it's each to your own. If you're not, that's
Yep,
fine.
no.
No, of course you are. So, but yeah, I think in this day and age on a first date, you should give the girl the opportunity to go hard.
Yep.
Exactly right. Go Dutch, go French, go German.
Is that why you did Inside 50, to rebuild the reputation after it was destroyed by the Daily Mail?
I can't remember if it was before or after I started doing Inside 50, but that was more just because Sam Hibbins was bored and he wanted something to laugh at training, so I put my hand up. And Inside 50 with Fahie has a good ring to it. Lovely.
It certainly does. Having the Tragics with Fahie is also pretty good as well. Thanks for coming in today. Good luck the rest of the year. Hope to see you in finals, and maybe you can pinch another flag.
Thanks, Chompers.
Chompers. We'll be back with Alicia Min talking women's footy after this. Welcome back to the Tragics. At the desk to join us to talk all things women's footy, it's Alicia Min. Hello, Alicia.
Hi, Lenny. How are you?
Well, thank you. Very well. No break for you across the long weekend. Didn't get away to sunny Queensland or anything like that?
No. We had rep footy, and I know that you've touched on it already, but just want to glaze over that quickly. How phenomenal are our Big V women? 151-0 over AFL Goldfields. Teresa Razor-Zampaglione from Fitzroy was phenomenal, as was the captain Vanessa Murphy from Trinity. Steph Lawrence from St Mary's got the spirit of the Big V. You could list pretty much the whole team. It was a really great effort, but well done to the girls. Well done to the girls.
Yeah, congratulations. They were stunning.
Yes.
Probably puts into questions about whether we're playing the Goldfields again.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I think we need to play an AFL Big Country team if they can get that together, because that's what our standard is calling for.
Or even just a metro side.
How would we go
Yeah.
against a
Northern.
combined VFL side, like a
Or even
VFL
just-
women's side?
Just one of the VFL sides, although they'd have the advantage of obviously being a team already, but maybe.
Yeah.
It's hard to know
It'd be
unless you try
tough.
it.
Interesting.
It'd be tough.
You shouldn't be afraid of losing.
Yeah.
I think you want to play the best competition, don't you?
You do, but you want to beat the best competition.
The VAFA played against the VFA in the 1980s and beat them amazingly, and then won one and lost one.
Yeah.
That's one of the most amazing results I reckon the VAFA has had in representative football.
But I reckon if you played a metro team, like say you played against the Northern, imagine the crowd you'd get there. Like having AFL Goldfields, having to travel
Makes it
from
harder.
Ballarat does make it hard. So if you could have and build that rivalry.
It might actually be a better opportunity to play someone like a Queensland women's side,
Yep.
or where women's footy is
Established.
unbelievably strong and
Yes.
established. I think
Yes.
the competition up there is excellent. And
Well, we already play SA every 2 years. Well, that's going to become every 2 years now. So and they'll continue to get stronger. So
that might be a better path to play. Just to make it interstate footy, and it's unfortunate, but the country options, because I imagine a lot of the talent pool still at the moment in the country, they're probably coming to the city to play in the VFL.
Yes.
And
yeah.
so they're not playing a lot of country footy at the moment at that level. So.
And then that way on the bye weekend, you actually are travelling to sunny Gold Coast if we're playing Queensland.
Exactly
so
right.
Well.
What happened from the week?
Well, not everyone was happy about the bye round though. So obviously Big V played. As you can see here, South Melbourne Districts were clearly not happy about no footy on the weekend, and Brunswick Renegades were dreaming about footy. Have a look at this photo. But Tuckshop Trials, I've got our first entry.
Well, this is good. I like this. Yep. Where are we going with it?
You reckon we're going down South Mornington?
Oh, if we were going to South Mornington, unbelievable. Surely you're getting a bit of seafood in your tuck shop down at South Mornington or something like that. And you're close to the seaside.
We're heading to Elstonwick Park. Check this out.
Hi everyone, Alicia Min here doing Tuckshop Trials. This is our first edition, and perhaps the best tuck shop in the VAFA is actually the one we've got here today for the big fee at Elstonwick Park. Now come on over, let's see what we've got going on. Here we are. What is the best product on our canteen menu today?
Today, the best product would have to be our Big V special, the dim sims.
The dim sims. Dim
3
sims. Now,
for $2.
say that again, how much?
3 for $2.
3 for $2. So it's the dim sim test. This is the Big V special. 3 for $2. Is it any good? Delicious. Thumbs up.
It's not exactly an exclusive though, is it? I mean,
No.
we established 3 for $2 dim sims at the tuck shop at Elstonwick Park a couple of years ago, Alicia. And so, a very promising start to your season on the VAFA Tragics this year. This is probably one
This
of
is a
your-
low point.
This is one of your poorer moments.
Well-
Reviewing a tuck shop that's all of 15 metres from your desk.
Okay. Parade College Tuck Shop has hot dogs, as we found out over the weekend. Preston Bullets, the social media team, gave that a taste at 3/4 time. Can't confirm if it's good or not, but I want to just challenge the Tuck Shop trials a little bit. Now, Letty, I know you're a big advocate for the tuck shops, but perhaps the VAFA community is steering away from this staple, because I found photos on the weekend of the old Geelong assistant coach Tilly Arthur enjoying a gourmet breakfast at the King of the Castle Cafe with the girls pre-game.
Yep.
And they worked a charm because the Yogurts run out 22-point winners over Collegians. So maybe the tuck shop, the fabled tuck shop, is just not such a thing anymore.
Blasphemous.
Maybe. I think there's a fair chance if you're a player, you're probably not consuming a lot of tuck shop food pre-game. Post-game, certainly. But this is what we want to see. We want to see just enjoyment. And I'm happy for photos to be submitted. I don't necessarily need it to be a full review, but I just photo with a bit of a comment on what you've had and what it costs.
Very impressive how much Leash just brushed past her video before it moved straight into something else, isn't it?
No, well, that's, as I said, been a really good operator on the show and has obviously learned to pick it up and move on. Right, what else you got for us?
So over the weekend, we had our first ever Friday night match at the historic Brunswick Street Oval. They just got new lighting there through the Pick Me project. They have funding from the City of Yarra, so they're having a whole work of upgrades, and this is the first one. We even live streamed it as well, so it was a fantastic occasion. Both Fitzroy and West Brunswick very excited.
You're obviously watching the vision there, but I'd like to just point out a bit of, if we turn the volume up here, this is a bit of, I think you were behind the microphone.
I was.
Great insightful comments, take a listen.
And it's going to be a ball up. It's good
Lenny Hayes, captain's in the thick of it there.
I think it was,
That could be the most handy point of all, Matthew.
well, now we were talking about handy points a quarter ago. I reckon that one's going to be pretty important.
Maybe a bit more handy.
Maybe. And the Magpies are going to leave with a win.
That is an unfortunate bounce of that oval-shaped ball.
And then
So, obviously, first game you've called?
Correct.
Yeah, well, you've done well there.
That was insightful.
That was very insightful. Very insightful.
Onwards and upwards, right?
Onwards and
Just
upwards,
like
absolutely.
In the Tragics. But the other result I wanted to talk about is Scob Saints defeating Old Trinity. So that was Trinity's first loss since round 3, which was against Q are going through a bit of a rough patch at the moment. And it's also their lowest score of the season. So even though they had all these big V players, the Scob girls stood up, particularly Maggie Gleeson, 1 goal, 18 disposals, 6 tackles for Scob. So I thought that was a fantastic result for them.
She's a tragic as well.
She is a tragic too.
One of our faves.
Yep.
And to finish it off, we had the woo count, so we like a bit of singing, but I want to take you to Richmond Central right now because they're doing the Who Are We video at 3/4 time. And the commitment to the game is good. So they ran out winners over DLR, 28 points. But the commitment to the Who Are We is clearly not there. Half the girls wander off before the end of the pump up and don't even attempt to rejoin. So have a look at this.
Yeah, so there's a bit of an issue there.
Yeah, need to commit to that.
Yeah, you got to commit to the song, but
Gotta
I
have everyone
actually
there.
don't mind it because I was never one for the big rah sort of hands in stuff as well.
With that, it looks like it was in two parts too. Like the first bit, you had the first rah-rah, and then a few tried to carry on, and it probably was that little
They
bit
got
too
carried away
long.
with the rah-rah.
They
They're the
did.
snakes. We want everyone to know we're the snakes. Yeah, so
Rightio.
that's good.
Hands in, everyone.
Oh,
no, I'm
God.
joking.
I
I'm
half
joking.
tried.
And Nick, didn't you get the jumper
Memo.
No, I must have missed it.
Oh.
Thanks for
And
coming.
I only got the sharp memo.
Alicia Mint back at the desk next week to talk women's footy and everything from around the VAFA as well. Back to finish up after this. Welcome back to the Tragics. Great to have your company. Just enough time to get through the best use of social and quick questions.
I'm going to go straight to Williamstown CYMS. They've started going live after every game, which I'm absolutely loving. On the weekend, it was Benny Gray's 200th game.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to him. He's been an absolute stalwart there, so it was great to see his interview. But my second one, because it's been 2 weeks since we've been on, so I'm going to give two. Tom Humphrey. He was promoted recently from DLRSL, promoted recently because he caught a 106 kilogram tuna at Portland. Take a look at this.
Oh, look at that. Not bad. Not bad. Good size.
And that's Tommy Humphrey. We know that he loves getting out there with Huey Nicholson, and that is one massive fish. Lenny.
Congratulations. However, obviously we just had Al on talking about reality TV and how it's edited. I'm doing a bit of reality TV work at the moment behind the scenes, and I can tell you, Inside Word has it, let me know, when you see some of those fishing shows, and they catch the big fish off the back of the boat, it's not all happening live. Let me give you the hot tip.
Don't ruin this for me.
If they've been out...
Are you questioning Tommy Humphrey's fish?
I'm just saying...
He's questioning his catch.
I'm not questioning his catch. I'm just saying...
Woo!
Not everything you see on TV, as Al pointed out, is actually as is.
No, I just like to live in a fantasy world where I believe everything I see, especially from Tommy Humphrey.
I'm going back to Old Brighton. They do this so well. Hamish Dick's long bomb goal with courtesy of the commentary of Triple M's BT, calling the Tom Boyd goal from the 2016 Grand Final.
Couldn't mark it. Naismith, Kennedy handball out to Buddy. Buddy tackled by Miles. Dropping the ball. Boyd took the advantage and played on from inside the centre square. Boyd's kicked the goal. Boyd's kicked the goal from inside the centre. I can't believe that. Boyd has kicked the goal from inside the centre square. He's got the magic. Can you believe that?
Well, they've done it again. I think BT is an easy one to add to this sort of stuff. I still think the best one I've seen is BT and Bruce, I think, calling the NBA game. Have you seen that? Have you seen that? Someone who's put that commentary over the NBA. It's great stuff. But I think more over the VAFA vision we can get of that sort of thing.
Yeah,
it's
and Brighton have done that a
gonna
couple
make
of
the show.
times with BT.
Yeah, a real bender. That's those sort of
Yeah,
ones.
that's it.
Also, just wanted to point out this beautiful tweet from Martin Flanagan about how good it is to get out to a VAFA game and watch some footy.
Particularly the Daily Oval.
Right, quick questions. Who had the biggest post-buy Blues, Nick? Are you thinking Blues lost to Collegians, Blacks going down to Bowie, or Q's lost to Therapanola?
Yeah, so they're all relative upsets. I would still think it's Uni Blues against Collegians. I know we just had Al on and they've been building, but Uni Blues had a near full-strength side, so to lose that game was a big loss, but I don't think it'll be bad for them by any means. Since Division 4 was established, Lenny, nobody has kicked more than 116 goals. Will Harrison Coe from St Francis Xavier, he's also in the Big V squad. Will he break the 13-year record?
Now, the challenge is, I think he's a big chance. He kicked 58 from 8, so just over 7 a game. The challenge is the number of games, because it's reduced games in Division 4. So he's only got 8 to go. He's got to go again with exactly the same amount, and that'll just get him there.
+1, yeah, correct.
So that's the challenge. He's on track, but he's got to keep that pace going.
And I saw him last night at training too. He's a thoroughbred, Lenny. He has every chance to do it. He's got legs that go all the way up to his hips.
What are you doing out St Francis Xavier training?
No, he was at the Big V training. Just out of Beaconsfield or Berwick.
Will Bulleen Road be a burial ground?
Potentially, and at this stage I'm going to say yes, because I think for William Buck Premier, the two sides that look to be relegated are Old Carey and Old Trinity. It's obviously easy to
Sorry,
say
this
that.
was about North East Link, because they're going to bury.
Ah, yeah, that too.
They're building North East Link through.
I mean, what?
No, never mind. No, I was asking about.
Obviously on the weekend, Trinity losing to D-Lar, and I've said it a few times, but you need to beat those teams around you on the ladder if you want to avoid relegation.
Yep.
Letty, last one to you, and after today's interview, is Fahie our best ever guest on the Tragics?
She's up there. He's up there. I think he's on the podium. Lockie Dornoff, Morgie McQueen was good.
Fantastic.
Margie Gleeson was good.
Yeah, elite.
I think the girls are generally, across the journey, averaging better quality output than the guys.
Yep.
Because I think they just don't take themselves as seriously.
A bit more up and about.
Al certainly doesn't take himself too seriously, so that gets him on the podium.
Beautiful. Love that.
That's all we've got time for. We'll be back with more Tragics next week.
I'm going to do a quick coin trick for you.
Okay.
So we've got a 20-cent coin here.
Yep.
And we'll make it disappear. This is a classic trick. So if you watch it very carefully, actually make it completely... Like actually make it come back right there.
That's amazing.
Thank you.